Greetings from Tromaville. I'm Lloyd Kaufman. I'm here with Troma Melissa and the Toxic Avenger. And you know, folks, when we're not making those great movies like Poltergeist, Night of the Chicken Dead, or Romeo and Juliet, or Return to Nukem High, we like to collide with Yell Magazine, because Yell Magazine is the best. I say that only to the Montreal ComicCon, because the Montreal ComicCon is the best. C'est le meilleur ComicCon. Il y a Tromette, Troma Melissa et Toxic Avenger. Ils sont très jolis, très glamoureux. What is the best Comic-Con in the world? She says, I translate, Montreal Comic-Con is the best in the world. We have been to Montreal. Melissa and I, the first time we came here was just after World War II. We were on our honeymoon. And we had a wonderful time in Montreal.
Oh, good.
We went skiing in Lac Beauport.
I'm pregnant.
Oh, okay.
Yes, here is my son, a beautiful young boy right here. Remember, this is my son, mon fils, il est ici. Il sort de prison.
Just came out of prison.
He's a good guy.
He just got out of prison. Very good guy.
Good guy.
But it wasn't his fault. I learned French in prison.
Oh, okay, nice.
I was with Margaret Trudeau together, and she spent all her cigarette money on me. Remember when we went to Lac Beauport, we ski, and we had a wonderful time. But those were the good times. 1949, 1950, it was great. Because we are 40 years of failed filmmaking. We, in fact, if you go on Twitter, you go #fail, you will see Troma. But we want to be grateful to our fans, and my daughters and I and my beautiful wife. We want to reward our fans, so we have put almost 250 of our movies on YouTube, the Troma YouTube channel, and they're all free. They're the director's cuts. You can see Poltergeist, Night of the Chicken Dead. You can see Class of Nukem High, Surf Nazis Must Die, Toxic Avenger, Romeo et Juliet, Doggy Tales is on Doggy Tale is sur Internet. So 250 movies, they're all free, and we want to thank our fans for supporting Troma for 40 years. Thank you. You only get the director's cut movie. If you get the DVDs of the Troma movies, you get the behind the scenes and the extra, the bonus materials and the commentary tracks. YouTube doesn't have the ability to show those, so we hope that our fans will perhaps buy some DVDs here in this wonderful Comic-Con. From Michael Hertz, my partner for 40 years, he and I are very idealistic about independent art, not just cinema, but all kinds of independent art. And we believe that unfortunately the world of art has been kind of controlled by the giant conglomerates, the media conglomerates. So anything we can do to make it possible for more independent artists to prosper, we want to do. So really, we are motivated by trying to create a healthier world of independent art, and it will help us also if there are more independent artists. It's very difficult. If you look around the countryside, the battlefield is littered with the bodies of dead movie companies. It's not because they are making bad movies, it's because they are economically blacklisted. They cannot get their movies on television, or they can't get them into the video stores. And as a result, they cannot survive. And this is an international problem because we have these giant media conglomerates. And they indulge in, at least in my country, they indulge in legalized bribery in Washington, D.C. called lobbying. And as long as they are permitted to run the media of the United States, it will be a very difficult time for the independent artists. So Troma wants to do everything we can to keep the flame of independent art alive. Boy, am I boring. Boy, am I boring. Thank you. And we are pretty serious about that. I've written 6 books, and they all promote the idea of independent thought and independent commerce. No, nobody wants our movie, so Return to Nukem High will be just like every other movie. It will be economically blacklisted. It will not be in any stores or any movie theaters. You'll not be able to find it anywhere. But nevertheless, we make our movies, right?
Because the
From
fans
Alyssa.
want them, though.
The fans, not just the fans who want our movies, but the air conditioners also want our movies. Any surprise cameos? Maybe Ron Jeremy.
Raunchy. I prefer girls.
Pardon?
I prefer girls.
Tromaversary would prefer Jenna Jameson, but the truth
Yeah.
is that Ron Jeremy
Yes.
plays God in Return to Nukem High. And do you know Lemmy? Lemmy from Motorhead?
Lemmy's going to be
Lemmy
in it.
plays the President of the United States in Return to Nukem High.
Lemmy should be the president of
He
the
should
United
be, I
States.
agree. He's the
Absolutely.
best. Lemmy's the best. The problem is, how do you live off your art? How do you get your film or your art to the public? That's the problem. And until we can figure out how to get rid of the Rupert Murdoch system of legacy media, of the people who want to control everything and who have controlled everything, we're going to have a tough time with putting a roof over our heads and eating. But other than that, we can make our movies. So it's wonderful that the new technology, the digital equipment plus the internet is very, very valuable. And we must preserve net neutrality. I hate to be serious, but net neutrality on the internet has to be preserved. It's the democratic medium. The internet is the last democratic medium, and again, the big media conglomerates, which are like Rupert Murdoch and Viacom and Sony, they are down in Washington D.C. and in your country, I'm sure they're doing it too. They want to screw up the internet. They want to put a superhighway that will cost a lot of money for themselves and try to make the internet the same way our television sets are, where we only get reruns of the same American movies over and over and over again.
You've always had your hands in a bit of everything. You have books out, you do all the obvious movies, you have a theatrical musical production, and in the early 90s you had a video game release for the Nintendo Entertainment System for the DS and Sega. Do you have any other plans to release maybe another video game for the fans to play with?
Unfortunately, the video game industry has not asked us for any more video games to play, so I'll just have to play with myself.
Do you have any plans for any more future books coming out? You've done six already,
the
right?
latest book is Sell Your Own Damn Movie, and Tromaversary and I, we like to read it by the fireplace, and I think it's a best movie book. Sell Your Own Damn Movie, because we talk about how the fans and the artists should be partners.
Okay.
And we believe file sharing is a good thing.
Oh,
I'm
yes.
happy if people are downloading my movies. I want people to see our films, and I think that time is more valuable than money. So if somebody wants to share, to download Poultrygeist or Return to Nukem High, or they want to pirate it, I'm okay, I don't mind, because their time is much more valuable than anything else in the world. So
That's a really cool outlook on it.
And I think the fans will take care of us. If we give our movies for free, the fans will come and buy the Troma movies and give me crack cocaine. I mean, let me read some more books. File sharing helps the artist. In my opinion, the word piracy is just a bad word that the media conglomerate elites have made up. It's not piracy. I know about piracy. I know about butt piracy. And believe you me, that's the only real piracy. Not what they call piracy is sharing. There's nothing wrong with having your art shared. The most valuable thing that you can give me is your time. Not your money, but your time. And if people are willing to spend time on our movies, that's enough. We will survive. But that's what the legacy media companies, these entrenched elites, they know that, and they don't want us to share our art with you. So they call it piracy. They sue their fans. They're in competition with their fans because they're overcharging their fans. They're charging too much for entertainment. They should be giving more value with their entertainment, and the pirates will start buying their entertainment. We give away our movies, and somehow we are still here. Somehow we are paying our rent, and somehow my daughters are able to live. And my wife is, well, her clothes are ragged, but she is sacrificing everything for our daughters. And she's a New York Film Commissioner. So. It was the 60s. I was going to be a teacher or a social worker, try to make the world a better place. It was the 60s, all about peace and love improving life and teaching people with hooks for hands how to finger paint and teaching bums how to write, how to draw happy faces on the beads and string the beads together, all that kind of. I was going to do that, but I went to Yale University, and I happened to be roomed with a movie nut who ran the Yale Film Society, and I started going to see the movies they were showing. And because I speak French, I started reading the Cahiers de Cinéma, which is the magazine of the film, the Cinémathèque Française, and that propounded the auteur theory of cinema. And this was written in the 60s. It was written by people like Jean-Luc Godard and Melville and Chabrol and Truffaut. They were critics, and they were just starting to make movies, but they were critics. And they propounded the notion that the filmmaker should control the art, that he should be the author, the auteur of his film. So I stupidly bought into that and stayed in New York and stayed in the underground, and as a result have been a total failure economically, culturally, and it's all the fault of Yale University and the Cahiers de Cinéma, unfortunately. But that's sort of how we began. But luckily we did what the experts said not to do. We mixed the genres. We started to make sex and comedy and slapstick comedy together. We made Squeeze Play and Stuck on You and First Turn On and Waitress, and they were raunchy comedies. And in those days, sex was supposed to be very serious. Was supposed to be movies were supposed to encourage the sale of raincoats. And but we thought it would be funny to make slapstick sex films. We broke the rules. And then, after the goofy comedies we were making, which all had kind of political content, so there was something to think about, the studios, the big studios, started to do the same thing. But they were not playing fair, of course. They were using good scripts and good actors, so we had to go elsewhere. We had to go to different territory. So we came up with the idea of mixing horror and gore with the slapstick comedy, political commentary, and the sex. And then that's when The Toxic Avenger was born. There had been a headline in the Variety newspaper about how horror was no longer commercially viable. And so Michael Hertz and I said, okay, we'll go into horror and let's do what the experts say not to do. And we got lucky. Toxic Avenger has become part of the North American lexicon. If I'm an asshole on that, in the movie I probably was an asshole, no question about it. But you get a sense of what's interesting about that documentary is, why did these people stay? They were there for 2 months, sleeping on the floor and learning how to defecate in a paper bag, and yet they stayed for all of my craziness and my being a dictator and being really, as you say, short-tempered. That was polite. You were very polite. So it makes you wonder what the hell the people are there for. And they came from Japan, from France, from Germany, Canada, all over the world. Great Britain. They came all over the world to work on poultry guys out of the chicken dead. And they stayed for 2 months, living like pigs and getting no money and eating crap food because they believe in the movie. They believe in what they're doing. What is my favorite director and what is my favorite film? I don't know that I have a favorite director or favorite film, but I like the kind of Chaplin and Keaton and Renoir, and I like Cronenberg a lot. William Shatner, I think, got at least 3 or 4 more people. And gee, I hope he did okay with his $140 charge for the autographs. I hope he's okay. I hope he's able to make it back home. By the way, I don't charge for autographs. I never have, and I don't charge for autographs or autographs. And I think it's not nice that the rich celebrity, we are not rich, but our fans, I know, are poor. Not just our fans are poor, but not just our fans, but our air conditioners. And we don't believe that we should be charging our fans for something as worthless as an autograph. And they are worthless.
So recently you played President Obama in a movie, and you also played Hitler. how did you make that transition between one and the other? And which one did you like best?
I couldn't remember what the difference was, so it was seamless. It was a seamless transition.
Okay, and finally, how do aspiring filmmakers get a hold of you if they'd like you to cameo in their movies?
Well, if there's no budget, I act for free. I've acted in about 200 movies, and if I'm in your film, the Troma fans will support the film. Usually people contact me on Twitter, at Lloyd Kaufman on Twitter, or there's a fan site, LloydKaufman.com, LLOYDKaufman.com.